Cord Bartholomew here with Bark, and I'm going to go a little bit over where I started as far as climbing and where I progressed to, and that's going to be in relation to saddles, equipment, all those kinds of things. So you can have an idea of maybe where you can start out at if you don't climb yet, or if you already climb, some possibilities, some different techniques, things that you can do to advance your climbing, make things a little bit easier on yourself. So, first thing I started climbing on, this was back in 2007, and the Butterfly 2 or a Glide. They're basically the same saddle. This is actually the Glide 2, but the Butterfly is basically the same saddle. Super basic, little bit of padding here, but basically no padding in the leg area. Not a super comfortable saddle to climb in, but not terrible. It was alright for starting out. Came at a reasonable price point. I think it was around $300, which when you're getting started and you don't have a lot of money, sometimes you got to make a compromise. You got to start out with something a little bit simpler. So that's where I started, and I climbed on that for probably 3 years or so, and decided I wanted to get a little bit better, more comfortable saddle, something with a little bit more options as far as customizing the saddle how I wanted it. So I went with the Buckingham Ergovation, and I've actually got two of them. This one I have set up with the SRT system on the front. It's got a front clip-in point right there. Also got the dorsal. It's got way more options as far as where you can attach things. It's got several loops. I've put some Rock Exotica transporters on there on each side. Those are really nice for having gear, or also I'm an arborist, so I use it for hanging saws, that sort of thing. The thing I liked about this is being able to put the top piece on it. Those straps help support the weight and turn this into a fall arrest harness. So if I'm up in a lift or a bucket, I can actually just wear this harness, and if I need to climb out and get something, I can climb directly out. Some new rules that they've put in place: you have to have a harness like this to be able to climb out of a lift now. Used to be you could just have a normal harness like I used to climb with, and you could go ahead and you could climb out of the bucket and get whatever you needed to get. But now they're requiring a fall harness, so this fits into that category. It's a lot more comfortable. It has a lot more padding on the leg pieces, and it's really nice. Downside to this is it's a bit heavy. I mean, it's super comfortable. I like this saddle, but at the end of the day, it's kind of heavy. So one of the other saddles that I climb on currently is the Tree Motion, and this is generally the one that I go to unless I'm needing to be in a lift or a bucket first and then climbing out. Then I'll use this one. Or if for some reason I'm having to do a lot of spar work where I'm in a big tree and I've got to have a big saw, these straps help support the weight on the saddle from a big saw. So that's a big thing to look into also. I do have the shoulder strap set up for this as well. To me, it makes the saddle really difficult to get into because it stays attached. There's no disconnect points. On this saddle, you can disconnect this. You can get into your saddle, put this up over your shoulders, clip in, and you're good to go. When the top piece is on the Tree Motion, you just have to push it to the side. You have to get into your saddle, and then you have to wiggle into the top strap and then suck it down and get it adjusted. I don't like that as well. But it does work if I need it. It does not count as fall arrest though. So it's kind of a gray area. I mean, if I'm actually working out of a lift or doing something like that, I've got to use this to be compliant. These are highly customizable. I've got some DMM wire gate vaults on here, as well as the transporters. It's got a saw attachment point here. It's got all these little holes that you can put small cordage through, and you can make any kind of loops that you want to make on this. I find that I like the solid carabiner instead of loops like this for attaching my gear. It's easier for me to just be able to turn something like that, clip it in, clip it out. That's just my personal preference. So that's kind of a rundown of what I've got there on the Buckingham saddles. I've got the notch, Rook, Swivel. They're pretty nice. On my Tree Motion, have the California Swivel. The thing I like about this is it's got larger holes, so you can actually put a D carabiner through there, or if for some reason you wanted to attach cordage directly to it, you can fit a rope through there and tie a knot to terminate it. So I do like this one as well, but either one of those options works well. I do like having the swivel on there though. That'll keep your lines from getting tangled up as you're turning and maneuvering through the trees. So that's a little bit of a rundown on where I started out, where I progressed to, and then what I still utilize, both of these types of saddles. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'll do some more rundowns on gear, and we'll get some climbing in too. So until next time, thanks for watching.